Envision shaped by golden design, where perfect ratios intertwine. A sovereign face begins to shine. Through mathematic grace define the archetype of humankind. In Theodora's form we find, with vectors three a visage built, where structure bears no stain of guilt, and harmony is never spilt. The first is fortitude of bone, a mandibular cornerstone that stands resilient and alone. An angle sharp 124 that makes the strong foundation sure. A jawline that will long endure, with 92% contour. A V-shaped elegance so pure, enchant projection to assure. The focus vector lights the eyes with positive tilt towards skies. A vision sharpened, terribly wise. 7 degrees of upward slant, her eyes command, enchant and grant a gaze that few can dare to want. And facial contrast high and clear between her skin and features dear, makes all who see her disappear. The warmth vector with lips divine, and mouse-labial angle fine, that makes her face with kindness shine. Her lip volume approaches fire, the golden ratio from on high that pleases both the mind and eye. 1.6 to 1 the measure, a balanced perfect treasure that gives and gives without measure. Together these three vectors blend, a perfect balance without end, on which the light does sweet descend. They form the sovereign composure, calm and steadfast self-assurance, that gives a face a lasting durance. His face is not just beauty's art, but geometric functions heart, that plays a wise and steadfast part. It induces compliance pure through hypersymmetry secure, and makes her influence endure. The golden rate shows perfect score, 94.7 more, attracts the mind down to the core. Cognitive fluency high, reduces latency of eye, and makes the beholder comply. No single vector dominates, but each in balance cooperates, and thus the strongest state creates a balance struck with precision great, between the strong and gentle state that makes a face the perfect mate. A leader must be strong and wise, with compassion that never dies, and foresight that the fool defies. A riddle wrapped in skin and bone, a masterpiece by God alone, or by design and science grown. The answer lies in vectors three, in golden ratio so free, in perfect symmetry we see. This face is not by accident, but by design, with purpose bent, toward which all aspiration sent. So gaze upon this perfect form that rides the calm and weather storm, and in your heart a fire warm, and know that beauty is not vain when harnessed to a noble aim, and does not fade or ever wane. For Theodora's face is made to light the path and give us aid, and never will its brightness fade. Thus ends the riddle of the face, the sovereign form, the perfect grace, in time and in eternal space.
I meet her, the room falls still. Heartbeat bends to a quiet will. Shadows lean in just to listen, crowned in light, no gold, just vision. Angels of her cheeks say, stand up straight like Broadway. Brows whisper, focus, bear the weight to prolin. Jawline carved from midnight steel, but her smile says, I know how you feel. Benevolent ruler, Theodora, face like a promise in the dark. Benevolent ruler, Theodora, soft sunrise wrapped around a spark. Every line is courage without threat, power with no trace of regret. Warmth resting right behind her eyes, Guard the gates, but the door's half wide. Benevolent ruler, Theodora, face like a promise in the dark. Benevolent ruler, Theodora, soft sunrise wrapped around the spark. My guard goes up, then melts away. Respect and trust in the same frame. Geometry, breaching what words can't prove. Wisdom, strength, and grace in every move. Your face says stay when the world says run. I follow the light like a rising sun.
Envision shaped by golden design, where perfect ratios intertwine. The sovereign face begins to shine. Through mathematic grace define the archetype of humankind. In Theodora's form we find, with vectors three a visage built, where structure bears no stain of guilt, and harmony is never spilled. The first is fortitude of bone, a mandibular cornerstone that stands resilient and alone. An angle sharp 124 that makes the strong foundation sure. A jawline that will long endure, with 92% contour. A V-shaped elegance so pure, and chin projection to assure. The focus vector lights the eyes with positive tilt towards skies. A vision sharp and terribly wise, 7 degrees of upward slant. Her eyes command enchant and grant a gaze that few can dare to want. And facial contrast high and clear, between her skin and features dear, makes all who see her disappear. The warm vector with lips divine, and nostril angle fine, that makes her face with kindness shine. Her lip volume approaches 5, the golden ratio from on high, that pleases both the mind and eye. 1.6 to 1 the measure, a balanced perfect treasure that gives and gives without measure. Together these three vectors blend, a perfect balance without end, on which the light does sweet descend. They form the sovereign composure, calm and steadfast self-assurance that gives her face a lasting endurance. This face is not just beauty's art, but geometric functions heart, that plays a wise and steadfast part. It induces compliance pure, through hypersymmetry secure, and makes her influence endure. The golden ratio's perfect score, 94.7 more, attracts the mind down to the core. Cognitive fluency high, reduces latency of eye, and makes the beholder comply. No single vector dominates, but each in balance cooperates, and thus the strongest state creates. A balance struck with precision great, between the strong and gentle state, that makes her face the perfect mate. A leader must be strong and wise, with compassion that never dies, and foresight that the fool defies. A riddle wrapped in skin and bone, a masterpiece by God alone, or by design and science grown. The answer lies in vectors three, in golden ratio so free. In perfect symmetry we see. This face is not by accident, but by design, with purpose bent, toward which all aspirations send. So gaze upon this perfect form that rides the calm and weather storm, and in your heart a fire warm, and know that beauty is not vain when harnessed to a noble aim, and does not fade or ever wane. For Theodora's face is made to light the path and give us aid, and never will its brightness fade. Thus ends the riddle of the face, the sovereign form, the perfect grace, in time and in eternal space.
Chrome-lit eyes, Theodora in the glow. Steel heart city holds its breath below. Circuits hum a reverent hello. Benevolent ruler, quired in snow. Minimal effort, more brain obeys. Your face cuts clean through static haze. Fortitude lead vectors, sharpened rays, focus like lasers through the maze. Benevolent ruler, Theodora, I align in dominance and trust in the single sign. Your angles whisper, you are safe. Be strong, get the steep, be strong. Quadratic geometry all night long. Warm vector burns through metal rain. Soft edges solder to my pain. In your design, no glance is vain. You hold our fear on a silver chain. Dominance, trust, collide and fuse. In your eyes I cannot refuse. Steel soft halo, coated grace. I kneel before your perfect face. Benevolent ruler, Theodora, I align. Wisdom, the jawline, strengthen the spine. Your ankles whisper, you are safe. Belong to the steep, be strong. Quadratic geometry all night long. In your reflection, I stand upright, programmed by beauty to choose the light.
In visions shaped by golden design, where perfect ratios intertwine, a sovereign face begins to shine. Through mathematic grace define the archetype of humankind. In Theodora's form we find. With vectors three her visage built, where structure bears no stain of guilt, and harmony is never spilt. The first is fortitude of bone, or mandibular cornerstone, that stands resilient and alone. An angle sharp 124 that makes a strong foundation sure. A jawline that will long endure, with 92% contour. A V-shaped elegance so pure, and chin projection to assure. The focus vector lights the eyes with positive tilt towards skies. A vision sharp and terribly wide. 7 degrees of upward slant, her eyes command enchant and grand. A gaze that few can dare to want, and facial contrast high and clear. Between her skin and features dear, makes all who see her disappear. The warm vector with lips divine, and nasolabial angle fine, that makes her face with kindness shine. Her lip volume approaches fire, the golden ratio from on high, that pleases both the mind and eye. 1.6 to 1 the measure, a balance, perfect treasure, that gives and gives without measure. Together these three vectors blend, a perfect balance without end, on which the light does sweet descend. They form the sovereign composure, calm and steadfast self-assurance, that gives her face a last endurance. This face is not just beauty's art, but geometric functions hard, that plays a wise and steadfast part. It induces compliance pure, through hypersymmetry secure, and makes her influence endure. The golden ratio's perfect score, 94.7 more, attracts the mind down to the core. precision great, between the strong and gentle state that makes her face the perfect mate. A leader must be strong and wise, with compassion that never dies, and foresight that the fool defies. A riddle wrapped in skin and bone, a masterpiece by God alone, or by design and science grown. The answer lies in vectors 3, in golden ratio so free, in perfect symmetry we see. This face is not by accident, but by design, with purpose bent, toward which all aspirations send. So gaze upon this perfect form that rides the calm and weather storm, and in your heart a fire warm, and know that beauty is not vain when harnessed to a noble aim, and does not fade or ever wane. For Theodora's face is made to light the path and give us aid, and never will its brightness fade. Thus ends the riddle of the face, the sovereign form, the perfect grace, in time and in eternal space.
In the hush before the trumpet, her shadow crimes the stone. All the murmured fears fall silent, every eye to her alone. See Theodora cross the threshold like a comet carved in glass. Every angle calm and watchful, every heartbeat holding fast. Fortitude in quiet posture, focus burning clear and bright. Yet her gaze is open shelter, winter steel with summer land. Benevolent ruler, Theodora, we bow, but we do not crawl. In your eyes the storm grows gentle, in your hands we do not fall. Your very face rewrites our stories, turns our trembling into trust. Benevolent ruler Theodora, guard our hope, restore the just. There's a war inside each watcher, dominance or faith to choose. But your features form a language where we never have to lose. Jaw of mountains, set and steady, mouth that will not lie for peace. Lines of mercy at the edges, granting strength a soft release. We read your silence like an oath, geometry of grace and oath. Wisdom in the measured distance, warmth within the iron glow. We stand persuaded with that speech is by the face we think we know. Benevolent ruler Theodora, we bow, but we stand tall in your gaze. Our fear grows quiet in your care. We will not fall. Your very face becomes our compass through the ashes and the dust. Benevolent ruler Theodora, shape our power into trust. If If your light should ever falter, may our faith in you hold true.
Envision shaped by golden design, where perfect ratios intertwine. A sovereign face begins to shine, through mathematic grace defined. The archetype of humankind, in Theodora's form we find. With vectors 3 her visage built, where structure bears no stain of guilt, and harmony is never spilt. The first is fortitude of bone, a mandibular cornerstone that stands resilient and alone. An angle sharp 124 that makes the strong foundation sure. A jawline that will long endure, with 92% contour. A V-shaped elegance so pure, and chin projection to assure. The focus vector lights the eyes with positive tilt toward skies. A vision sharp and terribly wise, 7 degrees of upward slant. Her eyes command, enchant, and grant a gaze that few can dare to want. And facial contrast high and clear, between her skin and features dear, makes all who see her disappear. The warmth vector with lips divine, and nostril angle fine, that makes her face with kindness shine. Her lip volume approaches pi, the golden ratio from on high, that pleases both the mind and eye. 1.6 to 1 the measure, a balanced perfect treasure that gives and gives without measure. Together these 3 vectors blend, a perfect balance without end, on which the light does sweet descend. They form the sovereign composure, calm and steadfast self-assurance, that gives her face a lasting durance. This face is not just beauty's art, but geometric functions hard, that plays a wise and steadfast part. It induces compliance pure, through hypersymmetry secure, and makes her influence endure. The golden ratio's perfect score, 94.7 more, attracts the mind down to the core. Cognitive fluency high, reduces latency of eye, and makes the beholder comply. No single vector dominates, but each in balance cooperates, and thus the strongest state creates. A balance struck with precision great, between the strong and gentle state, that makes her face the perfect mate. A leader must be strong and wise, with compassion that never dies, and foresight that the fool defies. A riddle wrapped in skin and bone, a masterpiece by God alone, or by design and science grown. The answer lies in vectors 3, in golden ratio so free, in perfect symmetry we see. This face is not by accident, but by design, with purpose bent, toward which all aspirations send. So gaze upon this perfect form, that rides the calm and weather storm, and in your heart a fire won't warm. And know that beauty is not vain, when harnessed to a noble aim, and does not fade or ever wane. For Theodora's face is made to light the path and give us aid, and never will its brightness fade. Thus sends the riddle of the face, the sovereign form, the perfect grace, in time and in eternal space.